we were talking about this topic this morning during our call for the Path to Six Figures students. And part of that topic was all about like holding space for your clients. Part of the topic was like understanding like how to energetically bring in the things that you desire. And I want to cover that, but I also want to cover it on today's topic from more of a standpoint of obviously what our title is, which is attracting premium clients. So I'm assuming that if you're here, you want a premium client. Is there anyone who doesn't want a premium client? And this is not to say that you can't have also low ticket clients, because a low ticket client can still be a premium client. So let's first define what does it actually mean to be a premium client. For me, the definition of a premium client is someone who shows up ready to work. Their invoice is paid on time, whether it's a pay in full or split pay or whatever it is, but they're showing up, they're ready to work, they're ready to go, and they're ready to get great results. I consider that person a premium client. Doesn't matter how much they paid or how much they invested or how much they spent. I want someone who shows up, who's ready to work, and who's ready to get the results. I have worked with clients in the past where, they would purchase a course or even a self-paced program. They showed up, they were ready to do the work, and they got great results. I remember one person in particular, she had messaged me and she was like, hey, I'm going through Create and Fill Your Coaching Program, which is one of my self-paced courses. She was like, I'm going through Create and Fill Your Coaching Program, and I just booked my first client. Okay, how do I send her an invoice? And, meanwhile, I'm over here like, wow, that's great. That's exactly what that program is designed to do. It's designed to help you, get those first couple of paying clients. And even though it's not priced at $30,000, $10,000, $5,000, $1,000, actually is priced over $1,000. But still, like, it's designed to help you do those things. And she showed up, invested, and she was ready to do the work, and she got the results. So I consider that person a premium client. I was not. I was born in June, actually. I am a summer baby. I'm a Juneteenth. My birthday is on June 18th. So it's coming up fairly soon. So 2 months and 1 day. Michelle says, I'm so ready to scale with beautiful clients ready to work. Yes, 100%. So I consider those people premium clients. And I think there's a reason that, I know there's a reason that I use the word premium instead of high ticket. Because I feel like high ticket it gets thrown out a lot. I throw it out a lot also, but it gets thrown out a lot, and it's kind of like overused, and it feels like it's only the money. But it's not only the money that makes someone a premium client. What makes someone a premium client is, once again, their desire, their ability to show up, and their willingness to do the work. I can do so much with someone who has the desire, the willingness, and ability, more so than I can do with someone who doesn't have the desire, the willingness, and the ability. And so when we're thinking about premium clients, typically there's also a high ticket price tag attached to that, because the person who is ready to show up and ready to put in the work is also ready to make the investment, and they're ready to essentially put their money where their mouth is. Like, if they are saying, this is what I want to do and this is what I want, they're ready to make that investment. While at the same time, that same person who might not necessarily have the funds for your highest package, they're still the same person. So they're going to, what I call, get in where they fit in. They're going to find a program that you have, or free offer that you have, or some sort of content that they can latch onto, do the work, get the result, so they can leverage themselves up into the next program. Okay. So let's talk about first. Oh, we got some more June babies. Hi, Myra. Yes. So you're right on the cusp also. You're a Gemini Cancer. Love it. My husband's a Cancer. Birthday on the 20th. Yes, you're actually right on the cusp too, depending on the year. 20, anywhere from the what is that called? The summer solstice is anywhere on it's like June 20th, 21st, 22nd, typically. Yes, desire, willingness, and ability. Ruth says, premium and high ticket ring bells different on whose ear is hearing it. I use premium a lot as well. Yeah, definitely. So some people hear high ticket and their assumption is, this just a pricing. And there's some people who charge a high price that don't actually have a premium offer, believe it or not. And so that's why I want to make sure that the first thing that we do is, essentially create that distinction of you can have a premium offer at a lower price point, and you can also have a premium offer at a higher price point. Bonjour, Clem. Thank you for joining from Paris. June 16th. Oh, we got a lot of June babies on here. Us Geminis. You get 2 for the price of 1. Gotta love it. Okay. So now that we've defined, all right, who is a premium, what makes a premium client and all that, like now we want to talk about, okay, so how do we actually attract premium clients who are ready to pay? And then the first thing is that's kind of saying the same thing in the same sentence, because a premium client is a client who is ready to pay. So let's talk about that also. So yes, glad to have you here, Michelle. So a premium client is a client who is ready to pay, but sometimes that client might not necessarily know that you're the person that they should be working with. Okay. They might not know that you're the person that they should be working with. And therefore, when they come to you, they might not necessarily be ready to pay yet because they don't quite know that you're the person that they should be working with. So the first thing that you need to do in order to attract a premium client who is ready to pay is, 1, be clear on who you want to attract. So be clear on who you want to attract. And the who is more than just, okay, I need to be clear on my ideal client, or I need to be clear on the demographics, or the person needs to, understand how to do this, that, the other. But I'm talking about energetically. Like, the other stuff is easy, right? Like, in general, I work with coaches who are typically late 30s, mid to late 30s, who are working on creating a new coaching business, who have some have years of experience or certifications, and they're interested in pulling together a marketing funnel so they can create their coaching program, launch it, and fill it with high quality clients. Like, that's easy. That's what you write down on a piece of paper or type out in a document. Like, that's the easy side. But energetically, the reason that I love the clients that I work with, and I gain energy every time we have our Zoom meetings on Mondays and Wednesdays and Saturdays, is because energetically, I'm very clear on who I want to work with. So what does this mean? How do you define energetically who that person is that you want to work with? Well, first you get really clear on like, who's the type of person that energizes you, period. So not even a client, but like, think of the type of people that you typically hang out with or enjoy hanging out with, even if, you don't always hang out with a bunch of people. Like, who's the type of person that you typically enjoy spending time with? Are they the type of person who, they're just really good at observing things? Or I'm just making up characteristics. Are they the type of person that, maybe they have a joke every now and then or here and there, or, whoever that person is, like whatever their characteristics are, their personality, like those should be the people who you would want in your coaching program. There's going to be there's a lot of different coaches out there, and there's a lot of different potential people I could work with, but there's a very clear definition of the type of client that I enjoy working with. And we'll talk about this when we get into the next part, but there's a way to filter through those people. And there's a way to filter the people in that you actually want to work with. So, if you're not clear on your ideal client from a practical standpoint, then yes, get clear on your ideal client. 100%. You need to know who your ideal client avatar is. You should be clear on the type of person who gets the best results with you. And you should be clear on, who you want to work with from a practical standpoint. But energetically speaking, right, we're talking about attracting premium clients. We're not talking about like putting an ad out for a client. We're talking about attracting premium clients. You should energetically know the type of person that you want to work with. That way, when you get on the phone with this person, or you have a conversation, or you send a audio message, you need to like right away, like, oh, I would love to work with this person. Like, I actually want to spend time with this person. I actually want to hang out with this person. I remember when I first started hosting the Royal Retreat, which I'm still not sure if we're doing next year. Actually, I just thought that. I'm not sure if we are or not. I want to, but we shall see. When I first hosted the Royal Retreat, I remember that one of the first things I wanted to be able to hang out in a tropical location with people that I actually enjoyed spending time with other business owners, with other women who, wanted to enjoy life the way I wanted to, which is having, being picked up at the airport by a Cadillac. Like, why not? Right. And so when I created that part of my business, I also looked at the rest of my business, like who is the type of person that I want to work with. So that's really the first thing, is you're going to attract who you are, not necessarily who you want. So you have to be clear on, all right, this is this is who I enjoy spending time with, because this is my personality and this is who I work well with. So these are the types of people that I want to work with. Like, I don't like working with people who ask like 50 billion questions, because that's not the type of person that I am. And I guess I need to define that, because I have clients that ask a lot of questions, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the person who is like, okay, so let's assume that you were teaching someone. I'm just going to find something on my desk. Okay, I just talked about this. Let's assume you were teaching someone how to create a retro desk sign. And they were like, okay, so what color should I put on it? That's fine. Okay, great. Well, choose the color that you like. Okay. Do you think it's going to be okay if I do this? When should I do this thing? Why do you do it? Really, like the why questions. Why do you do it that way? Why do I need to like put the M on there like that? Where should I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's like, you kind of get the red flags before the person typically signs up for your program. And usually the types of questions, and when I mean 50-11 questions, like the types of questions are like fear-based questions. They're not necessarily questions of how do I do this? Or can you explain it to me? Or, needing to clarify. It's typically like some sort of fear-based question. And one or two of those is understandable because it's a big investment. It's, it's a big step. But then like, as they like continue to come, you start, or at least for me, like I said, this is for me, I start realizing like, oh, this is not the type of person that I want to work with, because they're never going to be able to get beyond all of those fear-based questions to actually just do what I'm going to ask them to do. And therefore, I already know they're not going to get results. So therefore, you're actually not a good fit. So thank you very much for alerting me. And this is not a good fit for you. Okay, the comments are starting to come up, so that means I must be saying something. We got a March 10th and from California. Welcome. Candace says, thank you for that definition and distinction. Others describe it in a confusing way. 100%. It's absolutely fine. And that's why I say over and over again, like the demographics, like none of those things really matter. What matters is like, who can you help get results? So it's absolutely fine. Hi, Terry. Glad to have you here. Awesome. Okay, good. So y'all are getting it. Okay, thank you. Yes. No more questions. Just do. Exactly. Yes. Okay, so you guys get it. You understand. Yes, someone who doesn't think for themselves, they want you to tell them what to do so they won't make a mistake, and they're afraid to be in their own power. 100%, Arva. Thank you so much for clarifying that for me. Yes. Cheryl says, yeah, fear-based questions, always asking for permission. Exactly. So you guys get it. So that's what I mean by 50-11 questions. 50-11 questions means like you're asking me so that I can give you what you already know, is like what you already know, but what you're afraid to claim, because if you claim it and it doesn't work, now it's your fault, versus if I give it to you and it doesn't work, now you can blame it on me, right? And so that's like, I already know like that type of person energetically is just not a good fit for me to work together and good fit for my program. I'm the type of person where I'm like, if there's something that I've chosen to do, I don't care what coach I'm working with. I don't care what instructions you've given me, like it's going to be successful. And that's just because that's what I choose. Like I remember one of the first coaches that I worked with, the container that I chose wasn't actually the right fit for me. It was a mastermind container. And I just knew I wanted to work with that coach, but it was a 12-month mastermind. And I was asking a lot of questions like, okay, now I'm ready. Like, I got my freebie. Like now I'm ready to do ads. Like, how do I do ads? And the answer was, we have someone coming in 2 months to teach us ads. And I'm like, I don't want to wait for 2 months. Like, I want to get this business going and like get going now. And so once I realized that the container wasn't quite the right fit for me, that I didn't want to learn everything over the span of 12 months, I was like, okay, great. Well, I've already made the investment. Like this is the investment is going to pay off because I choose that it's going to pay off. So what do I need to do in order to learn some ads? All right. I went on Facebook and took their Facebook Blueprint course. I started talking to other people who had ads. I started spending some money, and then like my business continued to take off. And I really I stopped attending the mastermind calls because it just wasn't right for me. But I chose to continue getting the results out of the program. So that's why when I encounter someone who I feel like is asking like a lot of questions, that's essentially wanting to remove all potential blame from themselves, I'm like, you're not like me. You're not the person that's going to get success and results no matter what. Like if I walk into a situation kind of like those cooking shows, right? Where they're like, here are your ingredients, make something delicious. And I've never cooked with this thing before that I'm looking at. It doesn't matter. I'm going to chop it up, smell it, maybe taste it, and be like, okay, great. Let's make, cereal with a sprinkle of it on top. Like, I really don't care because that's just who I am. Like, I'm going to get results no matter what, whether they're big or small. Like, it doesn't really matter. So when I know that energetically, those are the best clients for me to work with, because we can create even beyond what they even think, because I know we can create great things. They're coming in knowing they can create great things. And like when we come together, it's just like magic. 100%. Hey, Allison, it comes from a place of fear. Lena says, I had a few people pop up in my mind as you're explaining. Yep. So you know it. A mastermind is lots of different definitions. In general, a mastermind in the coaching space is like a 12-month program where you get taught by several different teachers. And the goal is for you to connect with other students in the mastermind. So it's not necessarily a straightforward path. It's more so of great information and great networking and connections. So it wasn't the right container for me as a new business owner because I didn't necessarily need the general information. Like I needed a path. I needed do this, now do this, now do this, now do this. That's what I needed. And so, and that's how I structured the Path to Six Figures, our coaching program. But you have to know like what container really fits best for where you are. For some people, they need one-on-one coaching. Some people need a group-based program. Some people need a course, be honest. Like I have several times people come to me and they're like, okay, this is where I am. What do I need to do first? And I'm not going to say, okay, come join the coaching program, because I already know that they're not a good fit yet. I'm like, okay, go do this course. Once you're done with this course and you have these things, then let's talk, right? Ruth says, I get it. I had a client with fear-based questions. I already provided the outcome and they kept asking questions as opposed to just going and taking action. Exactly. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. I see just more yeses coming through. Hello, Robert. Glad to have you here. Okay, this is a perfect example. Yes, Allison. Allison says, I wanted to work with you and I jumped into the wrong container. I realized it, finished that course and jumped into the one I actually needed, and both were amazing. You're the sugar honey iced tea. Thank you. And so if for those of you who, if you haven't watched, if you go to the client success playlist, I actually did an interview with Allison and we talked about this, where she had first bought the course on how to create a webinar and the whole system. And at the start of it, I'm like, all right, great. So you've got your testimonials, you've created your coaching program. She was like, wait a minute. So she went back to create and fill your coaching program, completed that program, then came back through and like not only made her investment back, but like has been doing amazing since then. And she talks about her story in that video. So definitely go check it out. I'm glad you say that it's good to try other things because I feel some type of way when I feel I have to wait. Yeah, you can, like, if your pace is your pace. And so if you feel like something is moving too slow for you or something is moving too fast for you, like you're in charge, you know what's best for you. And I feel like a lot of times people don't necessarily trust themselves. And part of what I like to do with my clients is really help get them to a point where they're really trusting themselves. I remember working with a coach and I love her. She's like one of my favorite mentors. And we started having conversations and I started to notice that the conversations were the same, where the question like just kept being turned back on me of, okay, well, you know, how does that make you feel? Or like, what do you think you should do in that situation? And I'm like, oh, she's telling me I just need to trust myself. And once I did that, it was like, okay, things started going well. I'm straightforward. I like information straightforward as well. I'm good on groups until I can do my own thing first. Yep. 100%. That works. Okay. So that was number 1. So how to attract premium clients. Step 1, get clear on your, I don't want to say ideal client because that's like, oh, this is good. Okay. Step 1, get clear on your energetic match. Okay. So on your energetic, your ECM. I like acronyms. On your energetic client match. Okay. So get clear on your energetic match. That's step 1. Okay. Step 2, filter out the, I don't want to say riffraff. Filter out the non-matches. I'm so nice. Filter out the junk, okay? Not saying that people are junk or individuals are junk, but there are certain people that you already know that you shouldn't be working with. And so what this means is that it's going to junk up your results and your ability to help clients get results. So what do I mean by filter out the junk? So the way that you speak to your potential client, your ideal client, is going to allow you to filter out the people who are not right for you. And so what this looks like is if you know for a fact that the people who get the best results with you have, this type of, are at this stage. So let me just give an example. If you're a career coach and you know that the clients that you work with are typically at a level 2 in their career, whatever that means, but like a level 2 in their career, and you're helping them get to an executive level, then you already know that you're not going to work with someone who just got an entry-level job. So when I say filter out the junk, in that case, someone who comes to you who's like, all right, I just got my first entry-level job, but I'm motivated. I know I can do it. I can get an executive position. Like, it's just going to waste your time. And so for that person, because you have a passion for helping people at every level, that's where your course would come in. And so maybe you have a course on how to go from entry level to level 2. And now that they're level 2, now we can chat about taking you to an executive level. And I actually love that process even better because now you can create your own clients. You can groom the clients that you know are a good fit for you. You have the opportunity to speak with them right where they are when it comes to like the mindset and all of the other things. You can indoctrinate them so that now when they come to you to level 2, like they're ready to go. They're ready to pay. They're ready to invest. They're like, all right, coach, what do I need to do? Put me in, right? So when I say filter through the junk, I don't mean like leave people to to their own devices, but I just mean like your messaging and when I go like this is like we're speaking directly to one person. Like your messaging needs to speak to the person who is right for your premium program right now at this moment. Okay. So your messaging in that case is always going to be talking about something like why you get passed over for executive promotions. The person who just got an entry-level job, that's not going to resonate with them because they already know, like they're not going to click on that. They're like, well, I get passed over because I'm not qualified, right? So they already know that that is not the right fit for them. So when you're speaking in your messaging, you're going to be filtering out the people who are not the right fit for your premium program at this very moment. So when I speak about my premium program and I'm speaking about, okay, this is how these are the types of clients who join us in the path to six figures, I'm specifically going to be talking about, all right, this is a coach who has either already worked with clients and has gotten them results, or has been doing this for years in their professional life and is now ready to take their coaching business online and get results, right? So like, I've got to be really clear about who I'm speaking to. Otherwise, I'm going to attract the person who is like, okay, I'm brand new to coaching and, I've never coached or helped anybody. I don't have any testimonials. I don't have any experience, but I think I want to do a coaching business. So can you help me? And the answer to that is like, yeah, I can help you, but not yet. You need to go, work on maybe some of these free videos so that you get clear on a couple things. Now that you're clear on those things, maybe you sign up for this course so you can, continue to refine. And now that you've gotten your testimonials and you've actually already started working with clients, okay, now we can have a conversation. So you got to be really, really clear when you want to attract premium clients. Like your messaging needs to be premium, meaning that it needs to be clear and direct. And it needs to speak to that person who is like your ideal client, like at this very moment, like not someone who is getting there, but like the person who is like, this is you. If this is you, let's get on a call. Like that is your goal. All right. Cami says, I need your help, Tish. I will reach out to you on which investment I should make. Awesome. Would love to work with you, Cami. I always love working with you. I like that, Mika. Filter out the unfit instead of junk. That's good. That's a much better word. Yes. Narrow your energetic client match. Awesome. 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 Put me in the game, coach. Yes. Funny thing is, like when I say that, I think about kickball. So I was part of a kickball team in the fall. And I had to take a break because I just had too many competing interests and I want to get on stage and I just can't go to kickball practice when I'm like exhausted after going to the gym twice a day. And I remember when I first joined the kickball team, I was like, all right, coach, I'm ready. Like, put me in. What position do I need to play? You need me to roll the ball? I can throw the ball. You need me to stand outfield? Like, I can catch, I can throw, I can kick, I can run. Like, what do you need me to do? And so it's like that when we're coaching our clients too. Like, we would love to have a client that comes to us and is like, all right, put me in. Like, what position do I, like, what do I need to do? What practice do I need to do? What cleats do I need to wear? Like, what do I need to bring? Like, what do I need to do on my time so that I'm prepared and ready for our games and our practice? Like, what do I need to do? Put me in, coach. That's really what we want. When a client wants to go the cheaper route course, but they need your premium offer, is it ethical to allow them to buy what won't work? No. That's an easy question. So I'm always going to recommend for the client what is the best fit for them at that moment. I don't care if it's more expensive, if it's less expensive, because inexpensive is even a judgmental term, right? It's expensive to spend money on something that's not going to work or is not the right fit for you, whether it's $1 or $10,000. Still hurts the same. Like, I shouldn't have spent that money. Trust me, like, you spent $27 on something in the past or $15 or $10 and you're like, man, I wasted that money, right? Like, it still hurts. So if the client is a right fit for a course, even if it costs less, then that's what the recommendation is. If they're the right fit for a coaching program, that's what the recommendation is. The problem is that a lot of times people do their own judgments and typically what will happen in that case, which I think is actually what happened in our case, is if there's if there was like some sort of overlap or it wasn't the right fit, like I'll usually reply back and then say, yeah, this is actually a better fit for you. So I'm happy to exchange it. We can exchange it, or I'll give you a discount on this one that you can apply to that one or something like that. But yeah, absolutely. Like our goal is to be, the consultation and that consultating selling. Biggest challenge in growing is attracting and finding the client. So marketing for sure. Yeah. So marketing really all comes down to your messaging and how you're showing up. So when you speak and have a very clear message, marketing message going to your ideal client, it gets lots easier. All right. Step 3. So our final step, and we'll wrap it up. Step 3 to attracting premium clients ready to pay. Okay. Get visible, get seen, get out there. Get visible, get seen, get out there. For the longest time, I thought that I would see so many other people who were like, oh, I did, I made this much, or I just signed this many clients, or I did this, or I did that. And I'm looking at them like, how did you do that? How is this even possible? Came to the realization that at some level, it becomes a numbers game, right? It's difficult to sell 10 courses if there's only 10 people on your email list. It's not difficult, right? Nothing is difficult, nothing is hard, but based on just marketing percentages, mathematically speaking, most people don't have a 100% conversion rate from an email list over to a purchase of a course, right? And because first you got to get people to open. So let's assume that you had 10 people on your email list and you had a 100% open rate and all 10 people opened that email. Then let's assume that all 10 people were in front of their computer when they opened the email and they were thinking about the thing that you just happened to send them an email about. They were just thinking about like, oh my gosh, this is what I need. They all clicked over. All of their technology worked perfectly. Nobody had a sudden, power outage or alarm that went off where they're like, oh, I got to get out the door. Like none of that happened. All happened perfectly. And they all purchased. Everyone had a credit card that worked or a debit card that worked. They didn't have any random do not honor codes or declines or anything like that. And everybody on your email list purchased your program. Highly unlikely, right? And just for the even minute reasons that I threw in there there are so many different factors. So at the end of the day, I came to the realization that it comes down to a numbers game, really. And when I was seeing people who are like, oh, I made this much money or I booked this many clients, I realized that I just don't have enough, like, I'm just not in front of enough people. Like, there's just not enough people that are hearing my message and there's not enough people who are even out there. And so after I came to that realization, that's when my next thought was like, okay, well, that means I need to grow my audience. Now, here's where the problem comes in with only looking at the numbers. And this is part of what we talked about on our call today for the students in the Path to Six Figures, is if you're only looking at the numbers and your goal is like, okay, I'm going to make this work by bringing in this many people on my email list and having this many people, come to my webinar and having this many people sign up for a call, like from a practical standpoint and from a mathematics standpoint, like, yes, the numbers shake out, but there's this little thing called our individuality and our own personal energy that actually affects what happens a lot more than what you think. So there's a reason that one person can have, let's just use Instagram as an example, 10,000 followers on Instagram and make, $10,000 a month. And another person can have 100,000 followers on Instagram and like still be working, or 10,000 a month from their business and still be working full time and, barely making any money online. Like, there's a reason. And the main reason is not because one person knows how to market better than the other person, though that may be a factor. Because think about it, like they got 100,000. This person only has 10,000. The reason is in the energetics. So even though I set out to grow my audience and I was like, all right, I'm going to grow my email list. I'm going to grow my audience. I'm going to get in front of more people. You could still convert the same or even lower, even if you have more people, you're getting in front of more people, if you don't get the energetics right. And what does that mean? That means understanding that you have to work on yourself and you have to be the person that people want to be around, not by changing who you are, but by being fully you. So when I have on here, get visible, get seen, get out there, I'm speaking like to you deeper down to that version of you, that person inside of you who is still scared to be fully you. Once you are okay with being fully you and you're willing to get visible and you're willing to get seen and you're willing to get out there, you are going to attract clients like nobody's business, like your business. You're going to attract clients. You'll be attracting premium clients. You'll be attracting people who are like, I don't know how I found you, but I just know that I need to work with you. That's something that I hear often because I ask, because I'm doing practical things. I'm writing articles, I'm creating YouTube videos, I'm doing these live streams, I run ads, and I ask people, like, okay, so how did you find me? Like, do you remember how you found me? And their response is usually like, I have no idea. All I know is that I watched all your YouTube videos and I want to sign up right now. And so as many times as I've asked that question, I finally just got to the point where I was like, there's nothing else for me to optimize except for optimizing being me, because I can try to optimize my SEO. I can try to optimize my ads. I can try to optimize, the type of content that I put out there. But at the end of the day, people are attracted to you because you are being you. So if you don't get out there, get visible, and get seen, none of the other stuff matters. And so when I say at the end of the day, it comes down to a numbers game, like it really does, but the numbers are not going to matter if you're not being you. Does that make sense? 100%. Okay, good. Yeah. So how many of you guys actually remember how you found me? Like sometimes YouTube will recommend videos. So yeah, they do it that sometimes. Sometimes you might be on somebody else's Instagram and, maybe you found my stuff, but like you usually are like, I don't really know, or I don't really remember. Like, one of my mentors, I remember how I found her because she was being herself. She was actually, not necessarily arguing with someone, but she was like taking a stand for something that she believed in. And it made me realize, it made me reflect internally and realize that I believe that also, but I was scared to come out with it. And I was like, I got to follow her because she's going to allow me to be more me. And so we talked about this inside of our program. I forget when it was, a couple weeks back, where it's like you being you gives your audience permission to be themselves. And if they're not quite ready, they're going to follow you and invest with you and be attracted to you until they feel that confidence enough to be themselves. And then they're going to hang around you just because they enjoy your energy, and they will continue to invest, or maybe they won't, but that's okay. The point is that you being you and being fully you is one of the most important things that you can do in order to attract clients. People can't be attracted to you. When I say you, I mean big you. Like they can't be attracted to you if they can't see you. So you've got to get out there. You got to get visible and stop being afraid to be yourself. Stop being afraid to speak the way you want to speak. Stop being afraid to say the things you want to say, or not say the things that you want to say. Sometimes you might feel a pressure to say something based on things that are going on. And you're like, people are going to judge me if I don't say something, but I don't feel like saying something. In that case, it's most congruent for you to not say something. You've got to be okay with being you and being fully you, because if if you're not, like, not, you're either going to attract clients, but they're not going to be the right clients. And you're going to be like, well, I keep getting these randos and people who are not a good fit. Well, it's because you didn't present yourself as yourself. And so they were attracted to a different version of you, which means that they weren't actually the right fit for you, real you. They were a right fit for the different version of you that you put out there. So you have to be very specific. Allison says, I searched on YouTube for help on starting a coaching business. Yes. So that means my SEO is working. Terry says, I found you through a Facebook ad. Yes. So that means my ads are working. Good. Cheryl says, one of the best things I've ever heard. You are perfectly positioned to serve the person you used to be. # be yourself. 100%. All right. What other questions or thoughts do we have? I feel like that's it. Step 1, step 2, step 3, with step 3 really being one of the most important. But, you know, I really wanted to dive into really like the stuff that actually makes all of this work, which is the energetics of it all. You know, a lot of times people feel like, well, I need the marketing and I need the practical, and you do, right? Like, none of you guys would be here if I wasn't here live. You know, maybe you'd still be on YouTube or on Facebook, but we wouldn't be having this conversation together. So yeah, like, you do need the practical, but at the same time, like, people don't come back to these live streams week after week because of the great content. I mean, I think the content's pretty good, but they come back because there's some sort of attraction to me and who I am and how I speak, and how I'm being me and how I'm being authentic, and also the consistency of, you know, being here every week. Speaking of,